Fromania Bricks, and welcome back to the world's fanciest, most political recording studio you'll ever find in our house once a year. Welcome back to the LEGO office, Micah. In front of us, we have gone full-blown America with this amazing mock that you built. It is Inauguration Week in the United States of America, and we are about to undergo another, hopefully peaceful transition of power. Isn't it amazing to live in a country that you know that regardless of what side you're on, it's going to be a peaceful day. For the most part. Hopefully it's a peaceful day. And to know that democracy still moves on and we still have freedom. Freedom to enjoy Lego, freedom to worship, freedom to make funny, silly videos like this. It truly is a grand place to live, Micah. America is not a bad place. But as we get a new president in office, I am reminded that the president is never our hope in life, right? Whether it's a president you want or a president you don't want. Whether you celebrate the person in office or you abhor them, they're not our hope anyway. Our hope is far beyond the political structure, and it is in the King of the universe. But with that said, we're going to talk about this amazing mock that you built. Actually, series of mocks that you built. But before that, Micah, oh, buddy, I'm excited about the jokes that I'm bringing to the table today. Micah, do you know why politicians can't fly on airplanes?
Why?
Because whatever wing they sit by, they're always trying to tear down the other wing. Do you know why the government doesn't often put a nativity scene on the lawn of the Capitol building?
I have some thoughts, but I'd like to hear yours.
It's hard to find three wise men. Have you heard about the new McDonald's presidential value meal?
No.
You order whatever you want, and it's the person behind you that has to pay for it. You know, fines are a tax you pay for doing the wrong thing. Taxes are a fine you pay for doing the right thing. All right, listen.
I have one for you. Why did Reagan's vice president-elect and his entire family run away before the inauguration?
Why?
Because Reagan said, first thing I do after I get sworn in, I'm going to go on the White House lawn and I'm going to trim all the bushes.
Oh, look out. I know I just did a string of political jokes that would feel like I'm attacking politicians. We actually have some friends that are even in politics, and they're amazing humans doing amazing things or just having fun with the stereotypes that exist in a democracy. So, no offense to anyone. Grateful for the men and women who lead and serve our country. Micah, in front of us is this unbelievable mock that we're about to dive into. But I want to highlight these two guys on each side of you first. These are the two men that are going to be experiencing a transition of power in the United States of America. This is President Joe Biden. Maybe President Joe Biden or maybe former President Joe Biden, depending on when you watch this. And this is President-elect Donald Trump or President Donald Trump. When did you build these, Micah?
I built these like in June, right before not too long before the debate. And then I took them apart because I needed the parts. So I just went back and looked at the pictures and rebuilt them recently.
Wait, so these were disassembled and then reassembled?
Yes.
And then you also had to build a Kamala Harris because you originally built these for the debate of Trump versus President Biden. Then Biden exited the debate.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
We should probably fix that before we continue with this video.
Did you hear
I promise there is no political statement in what just happened.
None.
That was
seriously, there's not. They're just not.
Solely a mistake.
Did you hear about the Lego political scandal?
No.
Heads were rolling.
Oh, so Biden exited the scene. You built a Kamala Harris, but she exited the scene, and now we have a transition of power between these two guys. So that's why they're out here. So we'll slide them to the side so no more heads fall off, and we don't find ourselves on any watch lists. Yes. You know, that is the good thing about the NSA, Micah.
What?
It's the only governmental association that actually listens to you. Micah, over the past year, you've been studying and learning a lot about President Reagan. Some of this was spawned by the Reagan biopic that came out. Some of it has just been your own journey for information. If you don't know this, Micah is infinitely smarter than me. My role is to play with Lego. Micah's role is to keep me informed of what's happening all around the world. So you've been studying the man of Ronald Reagan. When was he president?
1981 to 1989.
Ooh, so he was inaugurated right before I was born.
Yeah, like less than a month before you were born, right? No, just over a month.
So that means both Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush were my opening acts. We blew Caleb and Micah's mind the other day. They didn't know I was speaking at an event when a book that I co-authored came out. And George W. Bush was my opening act. By opening act, I just mean he had a tight schedule and they booked him in the speaking slot right before me. So it was George Bush warming up the audience before I came out on stage. And then Ronald Reagan, I guess he warmed up planet Earth before I came on the scene as well. So he was my opening act. And you built this beautiful diorama of different things that were key to his presidency. And it ends with this beautiful mock of the Oval Office. So before we get into talking about the Oval Office, why don't you walk me through these different scenes we have here?
Okay, so this is the tear down this wall speech of the Brandenburg Gate. I built this and it was like really big and fragile, and every time you'd move it, the whole gate would fall over and collapse because the pillars were attached by one stud down here and one stud up here. So I decided, nope, I'm done with this. I sorted it and I changed my mind and I rebuilt it smaller.
So this is Brandenburg Gate.
Yes.
Then this is the Soviet wall behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And then in front of it was a stage that was built.
Yes.
And on the stage, there was a window where you could see the wall. So was the gate on Soviet side of the wall?
I think it was like a neutral side. I think they had like the wall, a neutral area, and then the wall again. I think. I'm not sure on that.
Oh, there were two walls?
I think that it was like, maybe not a wall, but I think it was in a neutral.
So it was like a Brandenburg Oreo.
I guess. I'm not positive on that. You can fact check me on that.
It was like, because an Oreo cookie, honestly, the only reason an Oreo cookie exists and is good is for the cream in the middle. And the two cookies, like, I could discard and do without them. And the Brandenburg Gate was like the cream in the middle of the two walls that needed to get broken up and torn down, right?
Yep, that's true.
So this was his tear down the wall speech. And this kind of was the first thing that set off this entire build journey, right?
Well, I built the first one and that... Uh-oh. Don't show the back of it. The back of that is horrible. I could have made it a lot nicer too. I just didn't care to. Yeah, well, the first one was. Then I sorted that and I built the Oval Office.
This is obviously when we gave the speech about landing on the moon.
No. Cold War missiles pointed at each other, and then two other Reagan speeches that I made. This one was hard because the footage was gray, so I had to kind of guess.
Were these missiles ever launched?
Thank goodness no.
Thank goodness no.
And then the Oval Office. I built this, and I was like, it'd kind of be cool to attach something smaller.
So this scene you said was only in black and white footage.
Yeah, so I had to guess based on what I remembered from the movie where it was in color, and then just kind of looking at the shades of gray and like, this should probably be blue and this is red.
Are you that good that you can look at the shades of gray and go, I think that shade would be blue, that shade would be red?
Not really, but I was also able to guess by, I found a picture from a movie where you could see the back wall, and then I did this in the same order.
And these also are on this, I'm going to try and turn this without the whole thing collapsing.
It's very fragile.
It's on an unbelievable pedestal stand that actually displays this entire thing, which is pretty remarkable.
You know the stand the wall is on? The video you have where I'm sitting in the floor and you're asking me jokes, that's what I was building when you did that video.
Oh, were you serious? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And then in the front is the Oval Office. The most, in my mind, iconic office in the United States of America. I don't know any other office that is more recognized, more known, I might even say globally,
Yeah,
than the Oval
Could you name
Office.
the name of another office anywhere?
No, but you know what? I wonder if we lived in the UK, like whatever that Parliament office is, if we would know that, but not know the Oval Office.
It's a good question. Definitely in our country.
Yeah, in our country, it's certainly the most iconic office. This office undergoes a transformation every 4 years or 8 years, depending on the term of the president. We actually just learned this today, that during inauguration, the White House staff has 6 hours to completely transform not only the Oval Office, but the entire White House into what the incoming president wants.
I have trouble even believing they're able to do it that quick.
The government wouldn't lie to us, Micah. No. This is so neat. And this is decorated to when Ronald Reagan was in office. So you looked at old photographs?
Yeah, I looked at old photographs. And they have a replica of it built that I was able to look at, I think. Some of the pictures were probably the replica.
They have a replica of the office when Ronald Reagan was in
at his library.
What? Where's this at?
In California. I wanted to go there. When we go to Disneyland again, I'll lobby you.
In California? Why would they build it in California?
Because that's where he was governor.
So this is decorated to that era. Everything down to the furniture and the plants and the fine details are in here.
And the rug. The rug was so hard to build.
You have Ronald Reagan replica figs throughout, though they do not have the face that you want.
No.
What face are you hoping Ronald Reagan will one day achieve?
Kramer's face from the Seinfeld set, which is kind of a funny
So you want the President of the United States of America to have the face of a comedian?
They're so opposite personalities, too.
These jokes write themselves, guys. We don't even have to try. When I look at mock building techniques, right, I've said this before. I can build like a box mock, right? I've done a warehouse that I'm actually really proud of. But if it has to take on any type of shape out of like Lego brick shapes, I just crumble under the weight of it. You were able to manage to literally create an oval office. And it is oval walls, yet it still has detail built into it. How difficult was it for you? Like, what's your process when you go, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to accomplish? What's your process to bring that together?
I'm really excited to talk about this because I did a lot of stuff I've not really done much of before. So I started with the frame. I just built a little ring in the shape of an oval. Then I built beams that connected it, like a little T-beam, so that it stayed in place. I built up the wall. The really challenging thing about it wasn't this came together really simple and easy. The challenging thing was the floor.
Yeah, because the floor is actually built on its side.
Yeah.
It's not built
it was very hard.
It's on its side, and how you have it layered in here is really wild.
So, yeah.
I will say White House staff needs to run a vacuum through
Yes,
there.
it does. So I built a whole hardwood brown floor, and then I was just like, I'm going to figure the rug out when I get to it. I got to the rug. I knew if I wanted to build it out of plates, it'd have to be at least 2 or 3 plates thick if I wanted to detail it. So I went back in. I gutted the floor. I just kept the little frame around it that had the shape that would fit in between it. Then I built another rug. Some of these bits aren't attached to anything. They just sit in here. Because I built a whole plate at the bottom.
See, and this is the amazing thing about mock building and the patience that you have and why I don't excel at it. Because I have in my mind what I want to do and I start pushing forward. And when I hit a roadblock like that, I just go, I quit, I'm done, I'm not starting over. You literally ripped out the entire floor of the Oval Office and rebuilt it to achieve what you wanted, which is part of why it came out the way it did.
If it makes you feel any better, I was really grumpy about it. Like, I built this whole stupid thing. I'm going to have to take it out and redo it. I was not happy. I think I even complained to my mom. I was like, I'm not happy about this.
But look at what that work brought you, which this is a tale of everything in life. Whatever you want to do it well and work. We've been listening to the Joe Rogan podcast with Mr. Beast and listening to his ethic and work to make YouTube succeed. You committed an insane amount of time to this and created something breathtaking.
Well, thank you. The The sofas were interesting to build too, because see, this is upside down, but the top is right side up. So I used headlight bricks.
Oh, I see what you did.
That's why there's little studs on the side. Then the pillows are just little cheese slopes that sit right there.
That is so crazy. Do you know what brand sofa Ronald Reagan had?
I have no idea. No idea.
It's kind of fun, too. Because of you building the floors on their sides, there's no studs to connect furniture to. So it almost makes it like, oh, you're going to be upset when I say this.
A dollhouse.
A dollhouse. And it's super fun. Like, I think LEGO should create more dollhouse type layouts where your furniture doesn't attach. It's just free moving furniture that you can move throughout rooms and houses. That would be a win. Like, when LEGO was trying to attract a wider audience and they brought out Friends and the mini dolls, ditch the mini dolls, keep the minifigures, and make it doll furniture.
Oh, and there's a jar of jelly beans on this table.
Jar of jelly beans?
There's just no jelly beans in it until LEGO makes it printed.
So, when we were watching the Ronald Reagan documentary, when Ronald Reagan stayed at that little boy's house, there was a little LEGO airplane in that room. Did that airplane make it into this mock?
No, I should though. I should make a little airplane and put it on the other desk.
Yes.
I really should.
This is what I'm here for. This is why I'm with you. Well, Micah, amazing job on this mock. Here's the biggest bummer about this entire thing to me, and this is what kind of makes me sad.
What?
Is that this is a mock that needs to be displayed everywhere. Yet every LEGO competition, every convention, anywhere you would ever display it, they've always got the same rule. Nothing political.
This was 40 years ago, though. I feel like this could be considered historical now.
Ooh, is there a difference in political and historical when it comes to politics?
I mean, if it was Abraham Lincoln's Oval Office, they wouldn't call it political, so...
Ooh.
I think you could pass it off as historical.
I think you're right. I think that... Oh, alright.
I'm thinking about trying it at the county fair, just thinking, this isn't... I'm not being political here, this is just my historical depiction.
Then we need to write on your little card a historical depiction of, so that it does not get ruled out. Because what a bummer if you enter it in and you don't win because of it being political.
And if they tried to move it off the table, it would shatter into a million bazillion pieces.
Well, Micah, amazing job. We just wanted to do something. We just did our most un-American video ever, as we revealed the sets that you can't buy in the United States of America. So we thought, in honor of Inauguration Day in the United States of America, to celebrate another peaceful transition of power, we would do our most American video ever.
We're even.
And again, we poke fun, but we know that there are good men and women serving our country as well. What we do hope that you do is that you go out there in this year ahead, regardless of your thought of the political climate, regardless of what you agree or disagree with, that you go out there and just be beauty in the world around you, that you would create and build beauty, not just with Lego bricks, but with the life that you live. Go out there and give more,
do more,
share more,
and love more.
And remember, always show your smile. Those smiles, they truly are contagious.
Give more, do more, share more, and love.